Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, hello, my name is Mika. Thank you so much for stopping in. Heart to heart, texting is not good communication. I say this because when you're texting somebody, oftentimes it doesn't display the type of emotion that you truly have. Words are misunderstood. People just, don't get a full understanding of what you're trying to say through text messaging. So if you're newly dating somebody and you see that all they want to do is text, I've been in this situation lots and lots of times since I've been dating, where people just want to text, want to inbox, and they don't ever want to call. Those are the type of people, in my opinion, that you should not entertain. One, they could be bad at communicating. They may be in a relationship already. They may have just multiple people and they're juggling everybody, and it's easier just to see, okay, this is who I'm talking to. This is who I'm talking to at this time. It's easy to kind of, decipher between the two or the three or four or whatever, however many people they're talking to. Again, if they're talking to a whole lot of people or multiple people, even if it's just two people, including yourself, they could be trying to just text you because they don't have time, to talk to you. Maybe the other person they're talking to on the phone because they already connected, they have an interest in that person, or maybe they want to have both conversations going at one time. They're already on the phone talking to the other person. It's easy just to shoot you a text and be having a whole conversation with you while they're having a verbal conversation with somebody else. Y'all get what I'm trying to say? Another thing could be that they are boring, and I know that is, nobody likes to be called boring, I get it, but sometimes people are, or they don't like you enough, like they already know. Like, I've talked to people who I felt kind of like the boring girl because I was not interested. Like, maybe there was something about their profile, or maybe there was something in the conversation that I was like, I don't really like this, or maybe they just take a long time to respond to messages, and it just kind of was like, okay, waste of time. And then they start trying to text more fluently, but I'm already like, and then they're like, oh, let's talk. And then I'm like, I may get on the phone with them, but in my mind, I've already X this person out. So it's like, okay, and it's like dry conversation. So maybe that could be a thing with them. But either way it goes, you need to figure it out as soon as possible. In a dating phase, you're supposed to be getting to know each other, and texting is not a way to do that. You can't be successful at getting to know somebody just by solely reading their text messages, because let's be honest, when someone sends you a text message, what is the first thing that your mind does? It plays out the scenario in the voice, in the tone that you want it to play out. So they may not even mean a certain sentence in a way that your mind read it. I'm not sure if you've been guilty of it, but I can speak for myself. I've been guilty of this, where I've talked to somebody and they were consistent, and the conversation was good over text because in my mind I'm reading it in a way that was pleasing to me, or that made sense for me, and it actually made me start to like the person before we even had phone conversation. And then when I realized, that they were different, once we had a phone conversation, once we finally had a phone conversation, I realized all the things were opposite. Like the way that I was reading their messages in my mind, and the way that I was perceiving what they were saying was not who they were. You know what I'm saying? Like, you are expecting, let's say, the sweet, kind, funny person, and then you get on the phone with them and they're rude, they're loud, they don't really have much conversation. It's just, it's opposite of what your mind imagined. And so I will always warn anybody, when you're going into dating, always make sure that you get some phone conversation in. You can text, there's nothing wrong with that, because we live in a busy world. We are busy people, and it's not the greatest to just sit on the phone all the time. I don't like being on the phone all the time, but give me at least 30 minutes to an hour of phone conversation throughout the day. It doesn't have to be all together. It does not have to be a specific time every single day, but we need that, especially in the beginning while we're trying to get to know each other, so that it helps me to register in my mind, like, okay, when they say this is kind of what the tone is. I understand that this may be the reaction or the response to this situation. Like, instead of me having to fantasize what I'm believing that the person's trying to say, I can kind of piece it together because I already have their verbal communication and their texting communication, their written communication. So when you're dating out here, don't settle for just somebody who's constantly, oh, I'm busy, all I can do is text you. I've done that before too, and it's usually because I was not truly interested in that person, or I was talking to other people too, or I just really just was bored and I just wanted people to talk to, and I wasn't really ready to be in a serious relationship. So it was like, oh yeah, just text. We're just text all day. So I had a pen pal. Selfishly, it made me feel good that somebody was paying me attention, even though they may have wanted something more, but I really didn't want anything from anybody. I just wanted somebody to talk to. During the time or the stage or the phase that I was in, I was needing somebody to talk to. So be cautious of that. Like, you really need to incorporate those phone conversations. It's so important. Plus, then you can also hear, I've been on the phone with gentlemen where I've heard them yelling at their kids. Like, in messages, they were super kind and everything, but on the phone, they were cursing like a sailor. You know, I've been on the phone with people who I thought that they were one way, but on the phone they're a different way. They're more controlling. They're more demanding, or they're just dry. Like, they don't have any conversation. They have no goals and stuff. What happens is when you're texting, and I do this too, when you're texting, you have time, your mind has time to think and to register what you want to say. Versus if you're talking to me, I don't have time to say, what am I going to say? Let me look that up on Google. Let me see what a good response would be to this question. And that's what's happening. People are catfishing you pretty much over text messages because they can go on Google and look up words, big words, to make you think like they're just this intelligent person, or intelligent responses to certain questions that you may have. I've done it before. Sometimes my mind be blank. It's like, I know, like, I don't know how to really answer this question without rambling on. So let me see a good way on Google how, I should answer this question where it makes sense, it's short, sweet, and to the point. And so I don't put it past anybody. There's too much out here, for people to do those kind of things. So I would prefer an authentic conversation. And so text messages is not authentic. It's just not. You know how many times we responded with LOL when we were sitting there maybe in a funk, or we didn't think it was funny at all. But when you're having a phone conversation, you get that real response. Even if it's a little fake, you might get a little giggle and it's fake. Somebody's chuckling a little bit and you're like, that was a fake laugh. But at least you get that, and now like, they didn't really feeling me, or they didn't like that conversation. But you can't tell if they all have all these emojis and laughing faces and all this stuff when they really ain't even laughing and stuff. But that's what you're seeing on text messages. So you thinking the conversation is cool, but really they're like, can you stop talking about that? I'm bored. Like, I don't care what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? My point is, don't solely allow yourself to be in a text-only situationship, courting. How can somebody truly court you if they're just texting? How can they get to know you if they're just texting? You would never get to know somebody by just text. Even communication, listening to them verbally, you still don't really know that person, but it gives you a little bit more of an idea of that person, if that makes sense. That's my opinions on it. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you've been in this situation, or if you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you are even guilty of being a person who has not shown up authentically through your text, let me know. Share your testimonies, share your experiences, because there are a lot of people out here dating, obviously, and that's something that we really, really need to be cautious of. And I think that a lot of people just think it's okay because it's the world we're living in right now. Everything is texting, shoot a quick text, shoot a quick DM, but we need to get back to the basics and really talk to each other. But again, that's my opinion. You let me know what you think. Shoot me an email if you like. Drop your comments in the comment box below, and we will keep the conversation going. Bye.
you.